Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I don't know what time you're watching this, but it's kind of early in the morning for me. It's about 6-ish, 6:15, is that what it says? Yeah, that's what it says. I was up last night. I was trying to get a bunch of stuff finished this week, and I'm speaking today, Saturday, at the Empire Guild here in New York City, and I was like right down to the wire getting everything done. There was just one quilt I wanted to get finished, and on top of getting everything done that I had to get done this week for market, I was scrambling and thought, when am I going to get time to finish quilting the Tiny Dancer quilt? Now, you've all seen that picture. You saw me when I put that quilt together and the funny process that that quilt took. And I have to look it up. And I'll put the old post, the link to the post underneath here, because it's a funny story on this. This quilt had been 3 quilt tops previously, and well, it's had an interesting journey. And then I basted it, and it was ready to quilt it, and it has sat here for probably 9 months, and I never quilted it. And then a few weeks ago, I was totally inspired. I knew what I wanted to do, and I started quilting it, and I quilted the whole inside, and then I got to the border, and I was like, oh, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted something that was going to sort of like radiate or something in the red, and I tried something, and I did about, I don't know, 2 feet or 30 inches or so of sort of a zigzag in the border, and I thought, I better stop and look at this. And I took it out, and I laid it out, and I thought, man, I really hate that. So then I stopped, I lost my momentum on it, and I put it away. And of course, last night, at about 6 o'clock at night, I decide, I really want to get that quilt finished. I really want to take it with today when I talk at Empire Guild. So what did I do? Well, I did the whole rest of the borders the way I decided I wanted to do it, and I just sort of echoed all the way around in the stars. And that was looking really, really good. And then I got down to that last 30 inches, and I'm looking at the clock, and it's 8:45, and I thought, okay, time to rip out that first 30 inches of quilting that I didn't like. And last week, just to back up, when I went to the Manhattan wardrobe place with Emily, and we bought all that dye, I bought 4 seam rippers. Okay, so y'all thought this was going to be about the quilt. This is actually about seam rippers. Why is it that I can buy 4 new seam rippers? And honestly, I don't use my seam ripper a whole lot. I usually stop way before I meet a serious sit-down time with a seam ripper and can rip it out very quickly. But 4 seam rippers. The studio is not that messy. I've already kind of cleaned it up. Earlier yesterday, I had a seam ripper because I found the cover, said cover, I found the cover, see this? And I put it on the seam ripper because first of all, I thought it was funny that I found the seam ripper cover, and second that I even found a seam ripper. But I thought, oh, great, I got a seam ripper in case I need one. And I got the cover for it. That's brilliant. So, 8:45 last night, where's my seam ripper? Where's a seam ripper? Guess what I find? A cover. Just a cover. Where's my seam ripper? 4 seam rippers. I still have not found a seam ripper. So I'm sitting here having my coffee, and I'm looking around, and I still cannot find a seam ripper. It's almost like Murphy's Law, isn't it? I don't get it. I can find anything else most of the time, but try to find a seam ripper when you want one. It doesn't happen. It's impossible. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. So I finally finished the quilting on this, and I actually, because it was like, it took me an hour to rip out that quilting, then I still had to bind it, then I still had to wash it, and I wanted to lay it out and let it blocked it out last night yet, so that this morning it would be all set to go. So I machine put on my binding, which I never do, but it kind of worked. I'm kind of happy with it. So I'm excited. I'm happy it's done. Woohoo! I feel like I've been working on so many other projects and I haven't been able to finish anything for myself lately, so that was kind of cool. So next up on my plate is to get my, my carnival quilt done with my crows. It's all basted and it's sitting here and it's ready to go. And if you remember me talking about this quilt, it was sort of this mixture, carnival and sort of the charlatan preachers. It was kind of based on that movie, that HBO movie Carnival a while back. And so I was like, now what am I going to put on the back of it? Because it's kind of a quirky quilt. I love it, but it's a little bit funky. And I thought I really need something funky on the back. Look what I picked on the back. This is one of Terry Mangat's fabrics. Isn't it great? It's so perfect. I mean, how could I not put that on the back of my crazy quilt? So that's kind of fun. So what do you pick for your backings? Do you piece your backs? Do you put whole cloths on the back? I like to use a whole cloth, and I like to make my seams line up so that the prints you don't see the shift in the prints when you put them on. I like to do that. I'm not a big piecer on the back. Let's see, what did I even put on the back of this one? I like to be able to flip a quilt over and find something really fun on the back. Something really pretty, so that when I crawl into bed at night and I turn that cover back, I get a nice shot of something really nice. So that's what I like to do. Now, if I could only find a seam ripper. I'm off. I gotta go pack my stuff up. And of course it's raining out today. And it'll be fun. I gotta try to find a taxi. That'll be a half hour or so. Anyway, have a great Saturday and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. This is very cool. I kind of forgot that it was Mother's Day this weekend, and I'm actually teaching tomorrow, but I'm thrilled because that means I get to go hang out with a bunch of quilting friends. It's here in New York, and we get to sew. I mean, really, seriously, how can Mother's Day be any better than that? So we're going to be sewing tomorrow in the workshop. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sure I'll post pictures later. Have a great day, guys. Bye.